I'm so glad you could join me here today. Today we'll be doing a nice little summer scene, or maybe fall. I don't know. Uh, but let me run the colors across the screen that you'll need to paint along with me. While they're doing that, let me tell you what I got done up here on my canvas. I have a 16 by 20 inch canvas, pre-stretched, double primed, and I added a layer of liquid white. I have my canvas on um, landscape mode, and we can get started with today's painting. I'm gonna just go straight into it with my 2-inch brush on phthalo blue. Just tap it to get an even distribution of paint, and let's get crazy. There. Not really caring much, just blocking in color. As you can tell, I'm just going super quick. We'll care about more values and all that later on in the painting. We're just right now we're just blocking in, kind of like a stain. There we go. Now let me go ahead, a little bit of phthalo blue, a little bit of phthalo green, just a touch, because phthalo green is such a strong color. There, tap both sides and just pulling outwards in. There we go. Very lightly. There. There we go. And just blend it out a bit. Now, I'm going to take my brush into Prussian blue. Nice darker blue. And let's just darken up those corners. And just block in color. There. And just let it blend outwards. There we are. I'm going to phthalo blue again, just to sort of have that light blue. Just have that transition. There we are. Just go across. I like to go up and down and back again. We'll leave it at that just for now. Now, just like that, you have yourself a nice, simple little sky that anyone can do, really. Right there, you're just blocking in color. Let me go ahead. We need a big cloud. I think a cloud would live there. So I'm just gonna go into titanium white with my number 6 fan brush and just block in color. There. Let your brush go loose and have the time of its life. Has a little bit of green. It's a somewhat dirty brush. I don't mind. Lift upwards. I just want something subtle. Now, let me go ahead and grab my palette knife. We're gonna go into straight mountain mixture. Cut a roll of paint. You should see that little roll of edge of paint on the end of your knife. Let's come up here, and maybe our mountain lives right here. There we are. Now, load up my palette knife once again. Maybe. Shoom. There. All I'm doing is blocking in that shape that I want for my mountain. There. let your hand go a little shaky. It gives you those nice bumps, makes your mountain come to life better rather than just strictly triangles. There. Now with the same brush I used for the sky, I'm just gonna grab and pull that paint. That liquid white helps move the paint around and blend and all that. If you don't want to use liquid white, you can use liquid clear. Any of the bases will help with this step, whether it's liquid white, liquid clear, or liquid black. As long as you have a thin out paint, then it'll help you move that paint underneath. There. Shoom. There we are. And just pulling down, really. Okay. Now, let me go ahead. Let me clean off my palette knife a bit. And let me go straight into titanium white. Strong titanium white. Cut a roll. And there's a little hair on my paint. You'll get that nice little roll of paint on the edge of your knife. Let's come up here. We're going to go old school wet on wet technique. I tend to have a very shaky hand when it comes to this. You would think I've done this, since I've done this hundreds of times, I'd be used to it. Each time, my shaky hand kind of comes back to me. Okay, maybe, shoom. Let me grab some more titanium white and just shoom. There. Over here. Very lightly. Very, very lightly. Maybe here the snow kind of shows up there. There. Isn't that easy? Pretty simple to do. These aren't the best mountains, but you get the point. A little bit of titanium white to my mountain mixture. And to that, I'm going to add the slightest touch of alizarin crimson, even though it's already like a purple. Just wanted to add slightest touch more. A little more titanium white. Let's come up here, cut that roll of paint, and just shoom, shoom. You're doing the same thing, just pulling the paint the other direction. There. There we are. There. Very, very simple. No pressure whatsoever. There. I say there a lot. Yeah, I gotta watch what I say. Someone should see how many times I say there throughout a video. I think that would be interesting. Okay. There we are. Now, I'm gonna just grab a little bit of mountain mixture with a little lightened mountain mixture, basically. Just pull in a couple, very few, of spots you see darker. Whew. Shoom. Let the paint pick up what it wants. There. Kind of blend it out a bit. Wherever I think it shouldn't be too strong, I just blend it out, and no big deal. Okay, let me go back and fix our titanium white highlights. There we go. Just a little bit. And maybe a little bit over here. A little bit over here. Over here, definitely. We have to fix that up. Shoom. There we are. I think with that, we're done with that part. Tap out the base to diffuse the mountain, but make sure you're following that angle of where your highlights and shadows are going, and very lightly go across, and just like that. Okay, let me go. I'm gonna grab some phthalo green, cadmium yellow, sap green, a little bit of mountain mixture. Now, usually I use the 1-inch brush when I'm doing bushes, but look, just treat it like you would with a cloud. Just use that corner and work that out. There. There we are. Load up your brush back again if you run out of paint. There we are. A little more darker. Got maybe over here. It just gets tall. Very tall. Okay, now fill in that color. And for me, I think Lan would come over here. So, something like so. Actually, I'm gonna speed up the process using my 1-inch brush. But all that I really cared about was that shape of the bushes with that fan brush. The rest I can care less about. There. And all I'm doing is just pulling a little bit of reflections, or are going to be reflections. There. We'll make everything come together little by little. Now, let me go into some phthalo green and some cadmium yellow. Now, a little bit of liquid white, very little, just to thin it out. That's all I'm using it for. And the light's hitting it this side, so maybe there. Just, it's a different style. And I like mixing up styles. I don't like doing everything one way only. Now, that does look weird, stepping back, but if I were to do the mountains, look, we'll just remove it. If I were to do the mountains with the paintbrush, as you guys seen me do before, then I think that style of bushes would suit it better. So it just depends, really. I like to mix up styles, but you also gotta know when it looks right and when it's okay. Maybe we shouldn't do that. It's just to improve your paintings. But at the end of the day, you have the say in which how your painting should look. No one can tell you yes or no, except for yourself. There. Just think of each bush individually. There. There we are. Very lightly, such a delicate touch. If your paint's thinned out correctly, it should be a delicate touch. Now, a little more cadmium yellow. There. There we are. Maybe over here. Before, I struggled with finding how to make layers with bushes. They always became flat. But the thing with me was I would always get rid of the dark. That darkness, that base color, dark, is what makes everything stand out. So it's very important you don't get rid of it completely by covering it up. If you cover it up, then it'll look flat. Okay? So make sure you don't cover that up. Now, a little bit of cadmium yellow, a little bit of bright red and alizarin crimson. Thin out my paint. Let's come up here. Hopefully a nice orange. Okay, here. Oh yeah, that reminds me of Indian yellow. You see, you guys can use Indian yellow, but I like to kind of make you guys mix it, because with you guys mixing it, you kind of have to practice what colors give you what. That way you don't rely on having that paint color there, because one day you won't have that color. One day maybe they run out in the store and you need something quick. Well, if you know how to do it, you don't have to worry. Maybe, oh yeah, there we are. Okay, some cadmium yellow. Load up that brush properly though. Okay, very lightly. There. Just mix up colors, see what you get really. There. Okay. And then maybe over here we have a few little bush. Okay, so the thing now is having this come out a little bit. Okay, I want it to make it seem like it's gonna overtake that grass. So just give that little impression. A little bit of phthalo green, cadmium yellow. There. But you gotta know where to hit it. There. Okay. Now I'm going to go into cadmium yellow once again. Just a different shade. Load up that brush properly. So I like to pull it out and push my bristles in. We'll get a little ridge of paint there. And just come up here and just tap in. Nice basic grass field. There we are. There. We'll fix anything we feel like we need to fix up in a bit. If you think, nope, I have to have this one stand out more, we'll make it stand out. There. Now, before I forget, let's add those reflections to the water. There we are. There. So now, with the 2-inch brush that I use for the sky, blending and everything, I'm gonna just grab it, pull it down very lightly, very lightly. And all I'm going to do is just go across just to make it seem like watery. Blur it out really. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go through some alizarin crimson and just decide where I want those spots to be at. There. A little bit of liquid white just so I can thin it out even more. There. And it already looks like it's overgrowing, overpowering. One time I showed this to someone painting similar, and they go, "It looks like the grass is eating up everything." I like that idea. There. Okay. Now, let me go ahead. Let me clean off my palette knife. Or actually, let me make some space on my palette. Okay. Let me just pile that up. And all I'm going to do is grab alizarin crimson and a little bit of sap green. Mix that up. Give me a nice brown color. And I'm going to add the slightest touch of not midnight black, my bad, mountain mixture. Cut a roll of paint. Let's come up here and just add in a little bit of dirt. Something to support that land. There. There we are. Bloop, bloop, bloop. There. Now, I'm going to pick up a pile of that brown and just add white to it. Cut a roll and ever so lightly, ever so gently. There we are. Just like that, you have some nice little highlights. Now, some titanium white paint, cut it across, and we can tap in a few little water lines. Also scrub it in, whichever way makes you the happiest, or whichever way you like the most. There. It's all about angling your palette knife so that paint touches. People try to get it nice and straight. You gotta angle it down where the paint touches, but not everything. It's hard to kind of explain. There we are. Now, let me go ahead and I'm just going to go into mountain mixture in that brown color. And let's put in a tree right around here, just to kind of guide the eye of the viewer. And also maybe one that's fallen. There we are. Now, let's add some white. Let me thin it out with some liquid white as well. Load up my fan brush and just tap down. And then a little bit of black just for shadow. There. There we are. Now, let's load up my brush and let's have a little bit of land showing up here. Just a little bit. And maybe there's a little island that lives up here. And we'll tap down some reflections of that. Pull and go across. Now, some cadmium yellow, a little bit of phthalo green, sap green as well if you want, and just block it in. There. There we are. A little bit here. And just reflect that downwards. We gotta tone it down, make it look like water reflections. Okay. Let's add in a little bit of dirt and we'll call it a day. Okay. A little bit of highlight. There. Last thing, I want to add a couple little extra highlights. It looked a little too dark. There. And can't have this one left out. Some water lines. And with that concludes today's painting. I really hope you enjoyed this painting and enjoyed the video. If you do, feel free to like and share this video. I'd like to wish each and every one of you the best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, my friend. Goodbye.